welcome to Cybernet Security. Today we'll be talking about how we can install Windows Server, Active Directory, domain services, and promote our server to be our domain controller. So here we have our server manager running up. So let me minimize this. As you can see, if you install a fresh Windows Server, whatever year, it can be 2022, it can be 2025. So you type server manager, that's it, you open it up. So from here now, first thing that we're going to do is our this domain server needs to be need to have a local static IP address. That's the first thing. You should make sure that it has a static IP address, and we are going to equally change the name of this computer to something that we can easily remember. So, and equally we are going to change the time zone because it will equally serve as a NTP server for every other machine that is going to be joining to this domain. So here now, let's change the name. You click on the computer name. You click on the computer name. Here you click on change. So here I will give it Cybernet DC -DC. So like you see here, it's still on a work group. So I don't need because we haven't created this domain yet, so we are not joining into any domain. So click on OK. So here now it needs to restart before this change will take effect, but I will restart later because I have a couple of things that I need to do. So I will equally go to change the time zone, click on the time zone. I'm going to change this time zone to reflect to, I'm currently in Nigeria, Africa. So I'm going to change it to reflect to +1. Okay, +1 should be, um, okay, yeah, West Central Africa. So that's what I'll be using, West Central Africa. So click on OK. And here I'm going to set a static IP address. For this, I have an IP address I have a IP structure in my environment, which I have a 192.168.100. Whatever IP number that you choose, but these might actually vary depending on your own environment. If you have an IP structure running on environment, you can give this guy an IP address from your IP address range. So I'll click on sorry, 1 minute. So as you can see here, I get my IP address in using my DHCP server, and I need to change that. I need to set that to be a static IP address. I right click on my network card and go to properties. So in properties, I click on IPv4, Internet Protocol version 4. So from here now, I will set my IP address to be 192.168.100.74. So my subnet max is 255.255.255.0. So if you don't actually know what subnet max is, you can check my video at IP addressing subnet max. I talked a little bit about how subnet max, what is subnet max, and how IP addressing are being structured. So you can, I'll tag the video in this video, in the description of this video. So here I'm adding my default gateway, which is 192.168.100.81. That is my default gateway. So my DNS, I want to have internet access on this, but if I should leave this guy blank after the configuration of this AD, this guy will pick up the DNS of 124, which is going to point to itself. This is 127.0.0.1. But due to the fact I want to have internet access on this my domain controller uh, for browsing sake, so I'll click on OK. So if you have an on-site or a local DNS server on your environment, you can decide, you can equally give it the IP address there. So here now, I will decide I want to leave IPv4, IPv6 enabled. So I'll click on OK. So but if you check the status now, you will see I have internet, and my IP address has changed to 100.74 and gateway, and my DNS is 8.8.8, which is Google DNS. So let me close this guy now. So I think let's refresh. Okay, we have all these guys sets. So what we're gonna do now is to restart the machine. So these settings that we did here will take effect. So let me restart my machine. So I'm restarting the machine right now, the server. So start as soon as the server is. So I just restarted my machine. So let's just wait some for a while. My machine is still coming up. Once it's up, server manager will open. So as you can see, server manager is just opening. So all right, I think it's up. So when the server manager opens, there are two ways we can actually do this. We can do that by clicking on the manage here. Okay, just give it some time to. So as you can see here, you can see our name, computer name has changed here to Cybernet-DC, and our IP address is now 74, which is our static IP address, and our time zone is UTC +1, which is West Central Africa. So here now what we're gonna do is we have two ways you can do this. You can go to your dashboard, you can actually create a row, add a row from here, or you go to manage to add a row. So when I click on manage, I click on add rows. So from here now, this it brings up a wizard, add row wizard for me. So here now I will click on next, row based or feature based installation here, next, because I need to add a row. So here now select a server from the server pool. That's the name of my server, Cybernet DC, and you can see the IP addressing. So click on yes, next. So here now I will have to check Active Directory domain services and click on add feature. So when I click on that, it checks that, and that's what I want to do. So I can decide to click a DNS server. I can equally add a DNS server row to this server. Or equally, you can decide to add a DHCP server, but that will be for the purpose of this video. We are just going to add our Active Directory domain services and a DNS server because we want the domain controller to be our DNS for every machine that will be joining in our domain. So here now we leave this guy as empty. You don't select anything here. You click on next. So from here now is click on next. Here's a little note, things to note. AD installation integration in that domain. Yeah, this is just a simple note. So click on next. So here now you can decide to check this guy to restart as soon as the installation is completed, but I want to do the restarting myself, so I will leave it as unchecked. So no, I'll leave it as unchecked. So here click on install. As you can see, the installation has started, so give it some time to finish installation. So as you can see here, the installation has been completed, so I'll just click on close. Click on close. So here I have one notification, so I'll have to click on this notification. So what I need to do now, I just installed a row. So I need to promote this my server to be my domain controller. So what I'm going to do is click on promote this server to a domain controller. So if I already have a domain controller in my environment, I can add this domain controller to if I already have an existing domain, I can add this domain controller to the existing domain, but I don't have any domain existing on my environment. If I have a new an existing forest, I can add this domain, the domain that I want to create now, so an existing forest, but I don't have any forest existing before. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a new forest. So click on this. So here now I will choose the name of my forest. I will say my forest name is testing.local. That is my root domain name. So here click on next. So here it will ask me to enter my directory service restore mode password is for maintaining your Active Directory. So I'll enter my password. Make sure the password is secure and safe. So I'll click on next. So here now, I don't want, I'm not creating a DNS delegation here. So I'll leave this guy as unchecked. So click on next. So here is to pick up my NetBIOS domain name from the root domain name I I chose entered initially. So from the texting.local, it will choose texting as my NetBIOS domain name here. So I'll click on next. So okay, yeah, it's showing me the directories that my doc files will be saved: database folder, log files folder, and sys volume folder. So these are the folders where these files will be saved. So I'll click on next. So here is showing me a kind of an overview review of your selections. So click on next. So it's first of all going to perform a prerequisites check to see if my server is good to become a domain controller. So after this check, then it's if we are good, as you can see here, all prerequisite checks pass successfully. So that means I can start my installation. So these are a few notifications that you might have to look into. You can go through all these notification, but make sure that before you click on install, that it's telling you that the prerequisite check is passed, because if it's not passed, you might not be able to continue this installation or continue this promotion into a domain controller. So for my own case, it's passed, so I'll click on install. So as you can see, it's installing, it's promoting this server to become a domain controller. So as you can see, the promotion just completed. So I need to sign out or restart my system for these settings to take effect. So the server was successfully installed. So by default, it's restarting my machine. So once the restart has been completed, once my machine is back online, I will show, okay, I'll show you guys in my local server what settings we have. So let's just wait for my domain controller to come back online.